Alright, off we go. Gym time. Running a bit late this morning. Baby woke up and had to sort him out a little bit. But we're heading off, we're getting things done. So this week I've been experimenting with some time management stuff because I have got way too much going on in any given week. Too many things within Navexa, too many things with trying to launch a second business in New Zealand. So managing my time has become like a critical skill for me to have. Hence why I'm going to the gym at 6 a.m. because this is the only time in the day that this is possible. So, and this has caught me out many times in the past. So I've always got I've got to code this feature, I've got to build a landing page, I've got to have a meeting with these people, I've got to do some marketing activities for this, I've got to sort out the paid ads for this, I've got to deal with support, and that's just a few things that I've got to do. And then on top of that, there's always other stuff that comes up, people that want to speak to me, people want to meet about random stuff. And then trying to layer in some other business activities as well for this business in New Zealand, which while it's launching a new business, it's I've always had the second business in New Zealand right from the start of Navexa. And it has just evolved because I left that original business, took the software from it, and I'm starting a new business. So it's very similar to the old one. So it's not like I never had it and now I've suddenly got something. But in the past I've kind of divided up my day. So I'd be like, I've got to code this feature, and then an hour or two later I'd be like, alright, now I'm going to work on the paid ads, and then do that for an hour, and then now I've got to do this thing. And I decided this week, I've got two kind of big coding projects on, one for Navexa, one for my other business, Dealify. And I was kind of doing 2 hours of one and then changing over in 2 hours of the other. And then I asked myself, because I was like, that's got to be the way to go, I'm making progress on both things. But I asked myself an honest question of, Navar, would you get these things done faster if you just did one of them, non-stop, finished, started the next one, did that one non-stop, and finished? Would at the end of that time period, would that have been faster than chopping and changing between the two for the whole time? And basically I think you'll know the conclusion I came to, but the answer is obviously yes, because there's no context switching. Every time I jump from one coding project to the next, it's not only context switching of the code itself, but there's context switching of the whole business picture, because they're completely separate businesses in different industries. So in the words of the great Ron Swanson, it's better to whole-ass one thing than to half-ass two things. And so this week I've just focused solely on one of the software projects I have to do, the one for Navexa. So yesterday, for example, I got support and stuff done, a few support activities done in the morning, and then I just got into the code and worked on this thing all day. And I'm definitely making really fast progress in it because I'm not kind of mucking about context switching. I can get deep into the complexity of the problem and just sit there, keep it swirling around in my head and figuring it out. Rather than, it's if I context switch, I've got to drain my head of that stuff and refill it with this new stuff. And then when I come back, I've got to drain all that other stuff and refill it with the original stuff, and that process takes time. So that's the current strategy I'm trying out, and so far it's working well. And I think overall I'll end up getting both projects done quicker than if I'd chopped and changed the whole time. So I'm going to keep that up over the next couple of weeks and kind of measure the effectiveness of it. I think it's kind of obviously going to be more successful. And then I'll report back in one of these videos with how it went. But pulled up at the gym. See you in a minute. Oh, alright, finished the gym. Let's get out of here. So, what was I talking about? Time management. So I got a bit of a hack that I had to employ on myself this morning, which is a hack I actually used in the early days of me getting up early, which was, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago or something. And you'd be amazed how dumb this sounds, but you can easily trick yourself with not much effort. So this morning I woke up, I got a bit of a sore throat. One of my 3 boys got a cold, and then we all got a cold, and mine's pretty mild, but the sore throat was there this morning. And so I woke up and I was like, should I get up and go to the gym, or should I rest? Like, will I even be able to work out? Like, all these lame kind of excuses come into your head, which are the excuses you get in your head when you first want to start getting up early in the morning, and you're like, maybe I'm a bit too tired to go to the gym, which is just crap. But this is the trick. So you say to yourself, look, we'll get up and we'll go to the toilet. And if we finish and we come out of the bathroom and we're still feeling like we can't do it, we'll go straight back to bed. What happens, I think you can see where this is going, you get up and you go to the toilet and you're like, oh, no, I'm fine, I was just comfortable in bed. And then you're up. And I've used that trick on myself so many times, and not a single time I went back to bed. Because it's not that you're too tired, or that you're too sick, or you're too weak, or whatever. It's just you like being warm under a cozy blanket, and that's it. As soon as you're up, you're like, oh, no, it's fine. So I had to use that trick on myself, and what do you know, went to the gym, operated at probably 100% strength, still got a sore throat, but it's not really affecting anything. It's not really that sore, it's just like a little scratchy. So definitely use that trick if you're trying to get up early. You just got to use whatever you do. The other one I do, I've got my smartwatch, which vibrates as an alarm, and then 5 minutes after that I have a normal alarm on my phone. And the idea is, if my watch doesn't wake me up, the phone will. And if that doesn't work, then put the phone on super loud on the other side of the room, and that'll get you out of bed. So when that alarm goes off, you got to do it. And in fact, my wife used that technique last year when she was wanting to get up early to work out at home. She would have, her phone wouldn't be on charge by the side of her bed. She put it on the other side of our room with the alarm on loud. So when it went off, there's no way you're just going to stay in bed sleeping through that, because it's so annoying. So that's just one of my little time management hacks. So today the trick is, I've got to finish this software project for Navexa. going to be a tall order because there's quite a bit of fiddly things left. With coding, it's always the case of like you can get 90% of it done really quickly, and then the last 10% takes 90% of the time. And I'm up to that last, I reckon, about 5% now. So it's all the strange use cases, like what if there's an error, what if something goes wrong at this point. You got to handle all of that stuff. So I'm pretty close. If it's not today, I reckon I'll get it done early next week. But I'm trying to get it done as quick as possible, as per usual, because there's plenty of stuff to do. So we've got a few up and coming things that are going to be announced shortly, which is really exciting. Got a big B2B announcement to make for Nuvexa, and then we've got a big community-based thing we're launching shortly in partnership with a big financial influencer in Australia. So that's going to be really cool. So we'll hopefully have some announcements about that in the next few weeks. And in the meantime, we're gearing up for tax season. So there's a few new tax features coming, which are going to be very unique to the Australian market and are going to be super useful if you're doing your investment taxes shortly. So there's not a lot of time before the end of financial year, so I've got to get these things done quickly, but they are coming. So pulling up at home, have a great day, and on that note, get after it.